So hello, welcome back to a new video. Again, not really a review, but kind of like a reminder for people what I'm using, and maybe it also solves a problem for you. So there are many reviews about this device online, or at least a few of them online, for both the old type and the new type, because this is something I've been using for quite a while. And I just got a new one, so that's why I'm reviewing it now. So the problem that I want to solve is when I'm out on a trip, let's say a longer trip for a week or 2 weeks, I don't want to take the computer with me. If I'm not working, I don't really want to have a laptop with me. So what do I do for backupping then, right? So a nice solution is, because you want to have a backup. So a nice solution is if you get back on the hotel, or if you're doing a cruise or something, that when you get back into your room, that you can back up your photographs on, or even your video, on a backup device. Well, the way that I do it is on an external hard disk. Now, that doesn't sound like a special thing, because, well, how do you get them on there? And it sounds almost too boring to have a review about. But there's only one brand, as far as I know, that allows you to not only have a hard disk, so both of these have a hard disk in there, but it also comes with a small slot. So this is the old one, which allows you to directly put an SD card in there. So I'm using a Sigma lens at the moment. I'm not sure if it's autofocusing correctly. We will see. It's kind of also testing that. So this is the old type. I will put it away and get to the new type, because they released a new one. And the old one was kind of working, but it was kind of slowish, and I kind of didn't provide any feedback what it was doing. So I upgraded to a new one, which is weirdly a little bit bigger but flatter, but it has quite a few extra new features that I will quickly talk about. But again, let me first draw you the scenario how I am using it. So it's a wireless device. You turn it on, it has its own battery, so about 10 hours of battery. So you just turn it on, you take your camera, you take out your SD card, and you slot it into the device. Now what will happen, I'm not sure if there's still pictures on here which I didn't copy, but what should happen after a few seconds, or something like that, it should start blinking that it's going to copy. There it goes. It's going to check if there are new files that it needs to back up. I'm hoping that you can see the light blinking. Yes. I'm not sure how many pictures are here that it has not seen. It will take a while, and it will show you a progress bar if all the files which are on the SD cards are now copied to the hard disk. This is kind of the only reason for me to buy this device, but also what makes it special, because it's kind of a one-way stop of allowing you to back up. You leave this in the hotel, you can come back, you put in your SD card, and then you put it back into your camera. What I personally do, I never delete them from the card, so now I at least have one copy with me and one copy at the hotel. Which I think is a good way to do it. There are other tricks that you can do. You could even copy it back to another disk if you want to, but that's kind of the core functionality. Now I will show you a little bit more about this device, but that's kind of what it is about. Now the nice thing is that it provides you with a Wi-Fi connection, and if I get my iPad, you will see that if I log in, that it shows me like a commander style sort of thing. This is not perfect, but you can see we have the SD card in there. I can go there, or I can go to the storage part and see if it has backed up. This is kind of I don't think it's a very well designed app, but kind of a file explorer sort of thing. So I can go to my SD card input, I can check the date. So this seems to be the one that I'm on now, and you can sort of see I can wander in the normal directory structure, and if we go all the way down, I'm not sure if there's new pictures. I don't think so. So you can see that it kind of shows me the pictures that I've been taking, right? And you can sort of navigate. Now, one thing you need to do if you want to really check if your pictures are the ones that you took today, is that I normally only shoot RAW, but in this case I now have to put it in RAW and JPEG so that I also can check the JPEG copy. And as you can see, it kind of sometimes takes a little bit of time because it has not seen the picture on the iPad. It kind of copies them over and caches them to make it a little bit faster. You can kind of zoom in, you can kind of see if your pictures worked out okay. Now there's also quite a few other, let's say, bonus things in here, but this is kind of what it's all about. Now if you go to the settings, you can sort of see that you can set up if it automatically sort of copies things. If we go to settings, you can see how much it is caching. But the most important part is, and why I got this device, that if you go to that's so my passport device, you can see that you can set up, for example, for the SD card reader, does it automatically import them and does it delete them once they are imported. And the same is true for the USB connection, which I will show you. You can sort of automatically also copy them from a USB stick or from something like your phone. So that's all about the app, because it's not really a full review. But this is kind of the functionality. Now I will show you a little bit what else you can do with it. So you can now see that it's fully backed up. Here you have the SD card reader, so I now can take it out and then put it back into the camera. It has a button to start copying. I put it on automatic. Now this is the USB 3 wire, so if you hook it up to your computer, it will just become, in this case, a 3 terabyte USB drive, quite fast. I would say the wireless is not that fast, although it does support 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It's okay, it works, but the USB 3 connection is quite fast and works quite well. It also has a USB out, and there's some nice things there. You can use it the same as the card reader, so it automatically copies files off. But it also allows you to, weirdly enough, to charge your mobile device. Since this has quite a big, of course it has a hard disk, but it also has quite a big battery. It allows you, because it can run for 10 hours, it allows you to also use it to charge your phone when you're, when it's really needed. So if you have it in your bag or in your hotel room, at least you have something, and I think that's a nice sort of extra feature. And that's kind of the difference between this one and the old model. The reason why I got it, because it's quite a lot faster in copying files off, and it shows you where it is. The old one, you turn it on, you had to wait for sometimes half an hour and you had no idea what it was doing. This at least shows you progress, which is together with the speed the reason why I upgraded. But it also allows some extra features that I talked about. So the USB is new, you can charge something with it, which I think is nice. It shows you the progress. It also has two Wi-Fi's now, so it has 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which makes it a little bit more usable and sometimes a little bit faster. It also allows you to turn it into connecting it to a local Wi-Fi, which I think has some security problems, so I don't use it. But it is kind of nice in that you, if you are forced to, or if you need to, that you can create a Wi-Fi point with a password on it, of course, that hooks into the hotel Wi-Fi, and this becomes itself a mobile hotspot for your other devices. So that's not a bad feature to have. Which brings us to the last feature that I don't use a lot, but you can use it since it has a 3 terabyte disk. So you can put your things like movies or music on it, especially if you're on a trip. Movies makes a little bit of sense, and you can sort of then play them from your iPad. Personally, I'm a big Netflix user, so now that Netflix has a way to download your movies on your iPad, I don't see much of a need there. I also have a program to allow me to download in kind of a similar way something from my hard disk at home. I have a lot of movies, legal movies, which I scanned in, so my DVDs and my Blu-rays are mostly on hard disks, and I can also do the same kind of Netflix download this for offline usage feature. So I don't use that feature. I have used it on this one. It kind of works. I don't think it's perfect, but it does work. Again, the reason why I'm showing you this is mostly to show you, hey, this is a nice solution. If you want to have a backup, and I think it's important, then take this with you, put it in your luggage, put it in the hotel, and every time you come back, pop in the card, see if it fills up. What I do then, go to the iPad app and check if the files are there. That's why I'm shooting JPEG and RAW. I can quickly kind of see if the backup is okay. And once that's done, turn it off again and forget about it. But every day I do it mostly 2 times a day or once time a day, so that I know that I at least have 2 copies of my files. Now, one thing you can do, and if you're on a long trip, that might be a good thing to do, is even to make an extra backup. So what you can do is, once you have all your files here, in the small file navigator, you kind of do simple actions like copy and paste. So you can copy a whole file and then either paste it back to a USB drive or to another SD card. So what is a nice way of doing it, if you have several SD cards, is to kind of also make a copy to the other SD card if it's really important. So in this case, you would have 1 copy, 2 copy, and on the SD card where you copy them in a way, you will have a 3rd copy of your files. So this is kind of already longer than I wanted this video to be. So go out on the internet if you think, hey, this is a good solution for me. I never thought about backupping in this way when I'm on the road. And again, it also provides a little bit of extra features in Wi-Fi connectivity and a USB hard disk and battery backup. So if you think this is a nice solution, go online and watch some real reviews. I just want to share it with the people who are subscribed to my channel. If you have never thought about this problem, or you're doing it in a, let's say, more complex kind of way. This is kind of a nice, come back in the hotel, pop in the card, take a shower, come back, the lights are all blue, and you can take it out and go to the next part of your trip or the next part of your activity for the day. So thank you and see you next time.